Welcome to Judge of Ghana TV. Akwa Baba, Judge of Ghana TV.
So the president is working. He means well. He wants to really end this menace. But clearly, there are others who are making his resolve difficult. And I think that he has to crack the whip. And I have no doubt that he will do that. So these are proposals that we should go back to and we should all implement.
We'll take a break. When we come.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa said? He said President Mahama wants to stop Galamsey now, but clearly he's being pressured by some invisible hands in the background. So what the Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa can or patchere say, as much as His Excellency John Dramani Mahama epese or stop Galamsey now no. Nkrofo bi wɔ akyire a tu no fo sɛ ma ɔnyɛ saa adeɛ no. Ɛno nti na delay aba mu no because ɔno ani de tua sɛ deɛ ɛkɔ so no ɛnyɛ koraa. Nti yɛntoa so na yɛntie engineer Dr. Ken Ashebi. Ɔno nso nsɛm a ɔkaayɛ ɛfa sesei baby a Galamsey akoduru wɔ Ghana ha. Let's listen to this.
That the state of emergency is not an end to itself. It's not as if once we declare state of emergency, we solve the challenge of Galamsey. The state of emergency is a means to an end. There are several things that the state of emergency can do for us. One would ask, if you look into two pieces of legislation, you look into the Constitution, I think it's 31 or 35 thereabout, that talks about the emergency powers. And then you look at the Emergency Powers Act 1994, Act 447 as well. It tells you clearly some of the things that can be done. Currently, we've been doing this fight against Galamsey. The turbidity of water at Kwenyaku got to 32,000 NTUs. Last year, it was 14,000 NTUs. That got all of us up in arms and crying. So there's something that, despite all the interventions that we've done, the excavators, the blue water guards, all of the things that we have done, that is still compounding the problem. So a state of emergency would help, for example, for His Excellency the President to restrict movement around all water bodies that are already dead. You take the people of Kwenyaku and the central region, they have not done any Galamsey, but currently they don't have water to drink. The Bawumia water treatment plant is shut. The Chebi water treatment plants keep, going on and off intermittently because of the level of turbidity. So, with a state of emergency, you restrict. Nobody can go onto these water bodies. With a state of emergency, another thing you can do is variations of the laws. Currently, with Act 995, all the 1,000 or so excavators that have been confiscated, you need to make sure you prosecute the cases, and then it is only when you found the people guilty that the issue of forfeiture can happen. But under a state of emergency, you could vary that particular law and make sure that all those excavators that have been confiscated because of Galamsey, you are dealing with them. The state of emergency will give you special powers as well to be able to deal decisively with the people in the forest. The president says rightly that 9 of the forest reserves that we lost have been reclaimed. That's true. But there are about 42 forest reserves that are amber, that the people are back into those forest reserves and are still destroying it. They go and come back. With the state, you can do a restriction in those particular areas, and so that nobody really, gets on into those places. So there's several things that the state of emergency will do for us. And it's also important for us to note that the state of emergency does not say you just go and start killing people. That argument should not be made. We have a president who is known to, be a respecter of
concern for some people. There may be.
He's not known to be draconian. So definitely with that particular power, the way it ought to be, it will be utilized, would be based on the challenges that currently are at hand. And it would give us the speed that we need to be able to deal with this. Another challenge that we need to deal with is why is it that up to date, the elephants in the room, which are the politically exposed persons, last year, October, His Excellency called them the kingpins, and rightly so. If you want to deal with Galamsey, it's not 1,000 or so people that you have arrested in the pits. They are not the people. The people you need to deal with are these, kingpins, politically exposed persons. What is it that is making it difficult for the Attorney General, for example, to bring Akunta mining, to court? What is happening? So with the state of emergency help, what is happening such that the Attorney General mentioned that all those who have been mentioned in the Professor Afripo-Boateng report should be dealt with. What is preventing that from happening? The Attorney General asked that some persons be investigated by Yoko. We've not heard anything about that. So when you look into the statement that we issued, and even the statement that has been issued by the Catholic Bishops' Conference, it is not only just talking about a state of emergency. It's talking about a raft of other things that have to be done. Our call on His Excellency the President is that there are some things that have to be done. Let's get a list of all those milestones. Let's also get timelines for them. So when we are told, for example, that a committee has been set up, or when we are told that this fast track courts are going to be set, it's a milestone. But we need to have a timeline on it so that together all of us can also be able to help the president push that. We are told that the MMDCs are we've been giving a KPI for Galamsey. There is Galamsey happening in their communities. Why are these people still at post? It means that two things happening. Either they are incompetent or they are complicit. And so our ask of it is that every DC that is not screaming out loud, we don't see you out there fighting, His Excellency should dismiss you. The dismissal, we don't even need to give you a reason. Dismiss you for incompetence. And then we should start investigating you for complicity. The same thing should happen to the police. The same thing should happen to the National Investigating Bureau officers. If we don't see you actively dealing with it, how is it? Currently, you just drive from Obuasi to Tama. Galamsey is happening, hidden in clear sight. So how is it that the MMDCs in those particular areas are not doing anything at our post, and they don't have anything to do with it? They are not benefiting from it. How is it that I drove on when you get to Dumbo, sitting on the Dolphin, on the bridge over the Dolphin, you could see the Galamseyers, in the water destroying it. You go to places like Pristia, the Ankobra has been down, and the people are sitting in the belly of the Ankobra, and they're eating it up. The people in Central Region, as I told you, have done nothing. They have done no Galamsey. But currently, Kwenyaku got 32,000 NTUs instead of the 5 NTUs. Currently, as we speak, that Ghana water has increased. The level of alum, could not deal with it. So now they moved to polymer. The polymer is used in treating wastewater. That is what we're using in treating our own water. The cost itself is bad enough. Ghana water is asking for over 200%. What about the long-term effect of drinking water that has been treated with polymer? The concentrate of polymer that is in that water. So again, in our paper that we did, we are asking the president to authorize the Ghana Water and the Community and Sanitation Agency to publish for Ghanaians to know the level of these chemicals, heavy metals in our water, and whether they meet the WHO standard. And another thing, to be able to help all of us as citizens, help the president to be able to deal with the Galamsey, we should also be publishing stability of all water treatment plants on a monthly basis so that we can track it. And so when progress is not being made, we then are able to solve it. And with all of that is being said, the president's work on NIMOS, great initiative that is going to coordinate, but we need to fund it. And we're giving some funding models. The gold board, for example, should dedicate some percentage of their revenues to NIMOS to fund it. The excavators, if you did a state of emergency, you could auction all of those excavators, and the money goes to NIMOS, go to the police, and then also go to the Forestry Commission in fighting it. Another ask that we have is also the fact that the police people are the primary constitutional body for law enforcement. And so they need to be empowered. But the IGP needs to deal also with the transfers that he said he's going to do. Complete all those transfers. Let us all know what are the KPIs that have been given to these people to be able to deal with the menace. So all of this, all of us together.
Let's talk next steps now. If I may interrupt you, let's talk next steps now. You made the ask in that statement.
Now let's listen to Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the foreign minister. He was one of the people who really lambasted the regime of the former president of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and Dr. Bawumia's regime, the NPP, New Patriotic Party regime. He really lambasted them and said all sorts of things about how they can stop Galamsey now, but they're refusing to do it. And he gave a list of things. Let's listen in a bit more detail. His interview with Bernard Avle of ChannelOne TV. This is just a snippet of it, but I think it sort of gives the information, the pertinent information about how the fight against Galamsey is going. Let's take a listen to Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Foreign Minister of the Republic of Ghana. Take a listen and watch this.
So whilst you are collecting all these products, you are also giving away your freedom.
Not at all. I went to that city, Nanin. I went there myself, met with the mayor, met with the governor. After that, I announced new visa measures that we are no longer accepting group visa applications.
Is that the problem? Is group visa or single visa the
because
problem?
When we did the analysis, coming in droves, claiming they are coming for conferences and they have all kinds of conventions, it turns out they are just coming to do Galamsey. And so it doesn't allow for our officers to vet them properly. So once it's a single application, you're able to vet thoroughly to really assess what the person is coming to do. If it's not a credible businessman or a credible tourist, you deny them the visa. So in as much as we have been out there looking for good deals for our country, we have not been pushovers. We have been very, very firm.
There's a concern that the issue of foreigners in Galamsey, this government has not been truthful to us. When Aisha Juan was deported without being prosecuted, you took issue with that. You wrote and criticized Osafo Maafo for this. This government seems to have the same policy. When Muntaka met the press, he said, when we catch foreigners in Galamsey, we will deport them. He didn't say they will prosecute them. He was very bold and told the media that when a foreigner is caught, we will deport you. That is a complete betrayal of the position you and other leading members of your party took in opposition.
So once again, as a cabinet minister, I'm not aware that there's been a cabinet decision against prosecutions and that we should just deport. I think that at that point, the Honorable Muntaka was offering probably a personal, analysis of the situation. Because as a cabinet minister, I do know that there's been no cabinet position on that matter. And my personal position on this is still consistent, that there should be prosecution. We have to treat everybody equally. You prosecute, they should serve time if they are found guilty, and then after which they can be deported. We shouldn't have an animal farm situation. We shouldn't have a situation where it's as though we are treating foreigners better than we treat our own people, especially when sometimes they are the ones who are the real, culprits who are bringing in all these chamfines and these excavators. So, sometimes we need to really look at the
Interior
context.
Minister,
If you play that video, I talked about prosecution and deportation.
But your colleague your colleague said we're just deporting. Interior Minister.
And I've said that it's not the cabinet position.
So did you raise it in the next cabinet meeting that Interior Minister, what you are saying risks being misconstrued as our position? Because in opposition, we said this is a wrong policy. Did you raise that in cabinet?
I do know that as we speak, the current Attorney General is prosecuting foreign nationals. I don't want to appear to be picking on, even though we know there's a suspect. Prosecutions are going on. And the president has said in cabinet that prosecute. Let's make an example of that.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
I don't think
Since
that
we're on the
was,
Galamsey
I don't
subject,
think that was a cabinet position.
and not to pick on you, you listed 15 things you said Akufo-Addo could do to fight Galamsey. I don't have time to read all. I can only see about 3 that this government has done. You listed 15 things. One of which was you said something about what the embassy in China should do, which is directly related to you. But let me read about 3 of them. Instruct the Attorney General and IGP to discontinue the harassment of anti-Galamsey protesters. Well, there's no protest, so that's not an issue. Sack all regional ministers who have failed to prevent Galamsey as chairs of their respective regional security councils. Sack all MMDCs who have failed to stop Galamsey as heads of their respective municipal assemblies. Reshuffle ministers responsible for lands and natural resources, environment, science and technology, etc., etc. Recall all police commanders and national security operatives. Impose a 5-year ban on all forms of small-scale mining. Deploy the armed forces to protect our river bodies. Immediately stop the issuance of new mining licenses. Carry out a shake-up in Ghana's embassy in China. Launch an aggressive scientific Green Ghana campaign. Provide free comprehensive medical screening and treatment for all Ghanaians affected by Galamsey. Hefty fines on small-scale mining companies. Roadmap, a lot of things. I'm not even sure 20% of this has been done by this government.
We are about 8-9 months in office.
Yeah.
I'm confident that these things will be done. Some of them are being done already. About 44 forests have been reclaimed. And look, let me be very honest with you, that on Galamsey, I believe that we can do better. And all of these propositions I made in the past, I still stand by them. Look, at the ministry, when given the opportunity, I hold here the KPIs. This is the first time in the history of our country that the foreign ministry has come up with KPIs for our ambassadors. All our high commissioners and ambassadors, our envoys, must meet these targets. And if you fall short, it's now in the appointment letters that the president signed. It is basis for you to be dismissed. I wish we replicate this in the regions and the districts and have Galamsey there, where if in 6 months you are not able to stop Galamsey, it means you are complicit. So these are positions I hold dear. I still believe in them. Look, if we cannot be decisive, if we can't have conviction, if we cannot say that, look, there are some things that money, material gain should not get in the way. Politics should not get in the way. Then,
Minister,
then it's not worth being in leadership.
The things you proposed are things the president should do. That's my issue now. So fine, this is for people who are within the chain.
Yes,
replicate
the
that
foreign
but
ministry.
A lot of the things that you are calling for, and by the way, this week, the Aguna Nyakrom headworks, Kwanyakun headworks are not working. So 10 districts don't have water. Takwa, the Bonsa headworks are not working. So the same type of thing you were talking about, that our water bodies are being polluted and now we don't have water to drink, it's actually happening. Yes. And you cannot tell me that in 9 months, the president cannot do the things that you thought the former president could do.
I haven't said that. I haven't said that it should not be done, or I haven't said that I'm running away from those proposals. Let's go back to them. I believe that it can be implemented, and President Mahama is showing greater commitment than we saw the former president do. I mean, at least 44 forests have been taken over by the military. Only this morning in a meeting, the president instructed the National Security Council, remember I'm a member of the National Security Council, to even deploy more troops, have permanent camps, so that we don't have a situation where when the soldiers leave, then the Galamsey guys go back. So the president is working. He means well. He wants to really end this menace. But clearly, there are others who are making his resolve difficult. And I think that he has to crack the whip. And I have no doubt that he will do that. So these are proposals that we should go back to and we should all implement.
We'll take a break. Engineer Kenneth Shigbe, who is the leader of Media Coalition, says, Bernard, please ask him about the president's promise for more action. Turbidity of water is now 32,000 NTUs. Oh, he asked, again. So it's getting worse.
Yeah.
it's getting worse. And I don't know if you have the president's ear, but I really feel like being one of the voices in opposition on Galamsey, you need to let the president know that his government's credibility is at risk.
No,
Let's go down memory lane now. 21st September 2024. This is one of the organizers of the Democracy Hub Stop Galamsey Now protest. Prior to the 2024 elections, let's listen to what one of the leaders of the protest had to say. Take a listen and watch this.
DC had a major demonstration just a few days ago. Their concerns was against the EC and electoral matters. The NDC have clearly demonstrated to us that their concerns is only about winning the next election and not about the welfare of the Ghanaian citizens. Ghana youth, make your mind day. Your mind for day. Yeah. A human being can only live 3 days without water. 3 days. After 3 days without water, every human being will die. Will die. So if our water bodies are being destroyed, and we will get to a point where we have to import water, and the Ghanaian citizen cannot afford water that is even produced right here, that is a license or a sanction to death. It's a death sentence. So today we are gathered here not to cause trouble, but to make sure we send a very strong message to them that yes, the youth of Ghana are still present and alive, and we will stand to defend Ghana even if the worst must happen to us. Shadowy! Shadowy! So I beg, last caution, let us not give ourselves to the police. If they try to arrest any of us, do not resist. Give yourselves to them because we if they try to arrest you, do not resist. But do not try crossing the barricade. And they don't have any right to touch any one of us. Are we understood?
This story comes from Ghana Web, Monday, 15th of September 2025. It's headed "An Easy Times Ahead. Why Mahama Government Faces Possible Nationwide Protests." The National Democratic Congress government could possibly face what may be its first major challenge in the form of civil protests. Galamsey, "I won't trade my life for your CD recovery." Those are the words of Cadman Mills as he blasts Mahama. The looming protests set to happen in the coming days are meant to pressure the government to address a range of issues such as illegal mining, locally known as Galamsey, and the arrest of notable New Patriotic Party executives, among other concerns. The impending demonstrations are highly anticipated and will serve as a major test for the government, particularly regarding how it responds and manages them. This Ghana Web article looks at the two upcoming protests in the month of September. Stop Galamsey protests. The Stop Galamsey protest slated for Sunday, September 21st, 2025, will see protesters partake in a vigil to protest the ongoing environmental destruction caused by illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. According to the convener of Fix the Country, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, the vigil will take place at the Revolution Square in Accra. The convener also disclosed that the vigil would be followed by a public march on Monday, 22nd of September, a national holiday, to draw further attention to what he described as an environmental crisis of urgent proportions. The opposition New Patriotic Party (NPP) youth also plan to protests. The National Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) have also announced a protest for Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, at the Obra Spot near Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra, dubbed the March Against State-Sponsored Harassment and Abuse of Power. The demonstration, according to the party's national organizer, Henry Nanabuachi, is aimed at protesting what they describe as the weaponization of state institutions to target NPP members and critics of the government. In a post on Facebook on Monday, September 15, 2025, he wrote, "The New Patriotic Party (NPP), through its National Youth Wing, is set to hold a mammoth protest march against state sponsored harassment and abuse of power on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, starting from the Obra Spot, Kwame Nkrumah Circle at 6 a.m. This march is a stand against the weaponization of state institutions targeting NPP members and voices against the government. We are calling on all members and sympathizers to join in solidarity against injustices and abuse of power." Abroye remanded again. He has since been released on bail. The protest comes on the back of the recent arrest and detention of some of the party executives, including the Asante Regional Chairman of the party, Bernard Entry Buesiako, Chairman Wuntumi, and the Bono Regional Chairman of the party, Kwame Bafo Abronye, among others. So those are the two protests that are coming back to back, Monday and Tuesday next week. Now, I want to see what Cadman Mills is saying concerning Galamsey. So this is from Monday, 15th of September 2025, and it says, "Galamsey, I won't trade my life for your CD recovery." Cadman Mills blast Mahama. Dr. Cadman Atta Mills, a brother of the late former President Professor John Evans Atta Mills, has criticized President John Dramani Mahama over the country's fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. In a post shared on Sunday, September 14th, 2025, Dr. Atta Mills pointed out that Galamsey is killing Ghanaians and must be stopped as a matter of urgency. He indicated that the health of Ghanaians cannot be traded off for the economic success in the 8 months of the John Dramani Mahama administration. What President Mahama said about Gold Board buying gold that is turning heads. "I refuse to pay for the allocates President Mahama and the NDC are receiving for the CD's recovery with my health or life. Call it Galamsey or legal small-scale mining. When bankrolled by the politically connected, it is killing us," he wrote. The post included a video which showed a water body heavily polluted by Galamsey activities. The man taking the video indicated that the water body was the Ayensu River, which is the source of water for many communities, including his. Personalities who have reacted to President Mahama's comments on Galamsey. "This is the Ayensu River. This is the water we drink. We all drink. This is a river that feeds a lot of Ghanaians. But because of the selfishness of a few, look at what it has turned into. The man lamented as he fetched and poured out some of the water from the river. There you go. That's what it looks like. Now, let's see what we know what President Mahama said about the gold board, but let's see what the article says, and maybe we'll comment on that a bit. Mm. What President Mahama said about gold board buying gold that is turning heads. President John Dramani Mahama's encounter with the media on Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, has generated widespread debate in the public. However, his answer to the question on the Ghana gold board and trading of gold in the country has drawn diverse reactions. The president was asked whether the gold board would differentiate between the gold from illegal miners and that from licensed miners in the space. President Mahama asserted that the board could not currently differentiate between gold from registered mining and from that of illegal mining. He, however, added that at least all the proceeds from the gold traded in the country are retained, unlike previously when some benefits were directly going to foreign gold merchants. I didn't expect that in 8 months we would declare victory in the fight against illegal mining, Galamsey, as the livelihoods of about 4 million Ghanaians depend on small scale mining. So it's going to be a process. It's not going to be an event, but we will not give up. We are determined to get on top of the situation. The gold board was introduced as part of the reforms to streamline the operations of gold buying in the country. If the gold board was not introduced, it meant those who were profiting from the small scale mining sector were the foreign traders. In 6 months, we have exported over $6 billion worth of gold. About 4 billion of that money was going to go into the pockets of foreign traders, he said. So the first thing is you shut the stable door so that the horse doesn't escape, which is what we've done. So if it's from illegal sources or it's from legal sources, it is retained in the country because at least it's our land that is being destroyed. So let us get off it instead of foreign traders. So that's the first thing he added. The president also stated that one of the mandates of the board is to place a mechanism in place to track all gold extracted in the country, which is currently being worked on. But if you go and read the gold board law, it has a requirement for tracking and tracing. As I speak, the gold board is working with an organization to put in a track and trace system. So they're going to see those who have legitimate license requirements so that they can assist them in responsible mining. In that way, we can buy the gold off them once we do the track and tracing, he stated. He added that the country's ability to track the trading of gold will be of great benefit because it would enable it to export under the London Bullion Market Association (LBMA), which helps the country to generate more profits. So basically, with regards to this gold board situation and Galamsey, um, it's obviously getting worse. And I can understand and I do appreciate the gold board because the formation of the gold board is actually a great thing. However, because of the health um, dangers that we are being allowed to endure, that is my only concern. But I can understand what um, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the Gold Board and the lawyer Sami Jemfi are trying to do. They're trying to at least rein all the gold, um, the people involved in gold mining, whether illegal or legal. They're trying to rein them in and actually get a handle on the total, you know, gold extracted from Ghana through um, having the gold board, which basically amalgamates all the gold that is extracted, whether illegal or legal. So they want to get a handle, and clearly, this has is the reason why there's been such an increase because they've been able to successfully encapsulate all these figures. That's why there's been an increase in the amount of gold revenues generated by the Republic of Ghana. However, it seems like looking at the price increase over 200% from Ghana Water Company and the fact that many areas are being deprived of water coming through their water pipes because the Ghana Water Company's facilities are not able to clean the dirty water. I hear that there's a high level of polymer being used, which is a health risk to clean the water because of the level of dirt and chemical degradation in the water. So I must say, I do agree with Dr. Cadman at Mills that the sooner we start cleaning the water and the land, the better. I understand what uh, President John Mahama is trying to do, but if you look at the level of increase in tepidity from 14 to 32 since 2024, it's massive. So it technically means that Galamsey has increased since 2024. And that means we have a problem. And I believe that they need to find a way to stop Galamsey now. So I agree with the protest that is, or demonstration that is scheduled for the 21st, which is Sunday the 21st, and Monday the 22nd of September 2025. In terms of the protest, the New Patriotic Party protest, I really don't understand what they're trying to do concerning that. Because, to be honest, if even a fraction of what the Attorney General Dominic Ayini says has happened in terms of the the criminal activities of some New Patriotic Party appointees and ministers and New Patriotic Party members, senior party members. If even a fraction of it is accurate, then we have a big problem. and Operation Recover or Loot is just. And we need justice as a people. We are fed up of politicians, whether they are from New Patriotic Party or National Democratic Congress, covering up for the other. Let the tree be shaken and let the fruit fall where they should be. And let those who are guilty suffer the consequences. We are tired as a people and we need justice. Me in some New Patriotic Party omo ye no ɛyɛ nsɛmhunu. Ɛyɛ nsɛmhunu. Protest yi ɛho fa so ne sɛn. Omo protest a person yɛ Tuesday the 23rd of September yi. As far as I'm concerned, who ni mfa so because nkrofo na omo se omo di Ghana dem no, omo awia Ghana sika no. Ampa omo awia. Enti mbra na omo di. Enti me de sa omo protest a omo yɛ on the Tuesday the 23rd of omo planning for 23rd of September 2025. No me de me mfo aso. Enti me mfa me din kra nkoto ho. Na stop Galamsey na protesting there me fo aso because me te there Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia kan ye abra one Amaru Sanda Amandu kasa ye no the other day no it was so disappointing me re hoye keke nsem o kan ye say ono ohun say ye necessary say ye be ye a ban on illegal mining, which is essentially state of emergency on illegal mining sites. Or no who say who here. Me hore hoye pa me te sa asem no enti say wo de metie de Samuel Okujato Ablakwa also can say president say or yeah 1212 bi ahwe na say be in the future no obeye stop Galamsey now ye hwe ye de ye hwe de obeye bia ye hwe ye ba be ka ho asem daache because ye de ade enye de enye and nsuo na ese enye general our very life and existence is at risk nti omonhwe no munye bibi about it ye de betimi aka no say betimi de ano atum argument no mu aka yadwen but at the end of the day say mpanyinfo na yɛde ɔmato Ghana ano no so ɔmo anyɛ ɔmo adwuma a ɛndeɛ ɛyɛ kwa nti ɔmo nyi ɔmo nsa mfiri ɔmo dɛm fam na ɔmo nyɛ ɔmo adwuma ne biribiara ɛntɔ yie na Ghana mfa ne ntoma pa mfra because yɛdeɛ me maka me support party bia me pɛ nipa a ɔwɔ akoma pa a ɔbɛyɛ adwuma president a ɔwɔ akoma pa a ɔbɛyɛ adwuma pa ama Ghana fa ne ntoma pa mfra ɔno na mehwehwɛ no nti me in 2028 me enye political party na me vote afa me hwe nipa a nyame akyerɛ me sɛ na koma ɛyɛ right a oba be yɛ dwuma ama Ghana enya impontuo nti ɛno na me mehwehwɛ. Kindly go to www.kofi.com/coachwright. There you can download 2 free ebooks. The first ebook is Daily Devotional on Leadership. This will assist you to become a better leader. We also have Unmasking Corruption in the 54 Nations of Africa. This is a very interesting read.